Welcome to Van Lathan's The Red Pill. I am your host, Van Lathan. We don't have a guest today. We have a co-host. Damien Dante Wayans is back to talk with us about some of the things that transpired while I was vacationing in Anguilla. All right, while I was gone, LeBron James joined the Lakers. I got in trouble on Twitter. Not really got in trouble. I got the whole Make America Great Again crowd attacking me over a tweet about the young man that got his hat slapped off his head at the Whataburger. I wasn't compassionate enough. Now, they say I'm not a good person. We're going to talk about that. And we're going to talk about what it means in this current era to be a decent person. Can you be a decent person and still use the tactics that your enemy uses to fight back? Of course, we got to talk about Drake, man. We got to talk about Drake as well. We got rapper lover Lauren here and also Vince Valhalla from Valhalla Entertainment. I'll talk a little bit about Drake. We're going a whole bunch of different topics. Stay with us. Gonna be dope. Not the regular Red Pill podcast. No interview. We just talking shit. Pop some pills. Let's get it going. All right, before we get into it with Damien, let's play some bills. Listen, you always need the mental ammunition to fight the war against disenfranchisement and marginalization. And I am so happy to be promoting this next podcast because it gives you just that. Co-produced by Afropunk and How Stuff Works. Afropunk Solution Sessions is a podcast that explores real-world solutions to the problems that marginalized people face. And of course, we know those problems are many. Every Wednesday, co-hosts Bridget Todd and Yves Jeffcoat speak with members of the Afropunk community, celebrated thinkers, and community leaders like Stacey Abrams, Matthew Kincaid, and Patrice Cullors about how to resist oppression and stay engaged. Afropunk Solution Sessions is inciting meaningful conversations and motivating people to make a difference. Listen and subscribe on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts. Keep your mental gun loaded. Red Pill Podcast, Van Lathan, Damien Dante Wayans, man. You know, here's the thing. Here's the thing about not having... I've been on vacation.
Yeah, you have.
What does that mean?
I mean, you was living life.
I was, bro.
I mean, in a way where, I don't know... This is like a van surgence going on.
What you mean?
Yeah, no, man. Like you like in, what was that, Anguilla?
Anguilla.
Whoo.
Yeah, man.
But you wasn't just there. Like you was there on like a level where, you know, your Louisiana cats might not appreciate this.
Talk to me.
Okay, I'm interested. You were shining.
I'm out there living my best life in Anguilla.
You was living your best life, but you was kind of rubbing it in.
How so?
Because, you know, on your Insta snaps, you was kind of like, yeah, you know, this is me. Yeah, that's what's going on. You had a different dialect.
But you know what the deal is, though? I'll tell you something. That's what happens when a nigga ain't never been nowhere before. Like when you ain't never been nowhere. Like I just recently started flying again. You know, I have a fear of flying.
But you flying first class, brother?
I didn't fly first class.
Van.
But you know, I go out to Anguilla. Shout out to Charlemagne. He was our host out in Anguilla. He had the house out there, and we were all there together. And it's just a beautiful place, bro.
It looked dope. It really did.
It's just a beautiful place. That water, I'm telling y'all, man, you guys have to travel as much as you can. That water is healing water.
Can you swim?
I swim like a fish. As a matter of fact, I'm the only one on that trip that could swim. We got to learn how to swim as black people.
You know, that's one of the top things on the agenda.
Yeah.
You know, in order for us to get right, we got to learn how to swim.
Yeah, the kids could swim a little bit, but everybody else is like, Van, what you doing? Like, the water's too deep to stand up. I'm swimming out, baby. I'm trying to swim from Anguilla to like Puerto Rico or some shit like that.
Now, I can kind of sort of swim.
Okay, what you mean?
Okay, this is what I mean. You know how you can swim up until the water like gets to the height a little taller than you? Then you can't swim no more.
Right, you can't.
No, but before that, I can swim. Yes, I can.
No, you can't.
You can't yes, swim. I can.
The water, you should always be able to swim because you swim on top of the water.
You swim on top of the water. I swim under the water, okay?
But you should listen. The vacations are important. Getting back to you know, recharging is important. A lot of times we work so hard we don't get a chance to recharge. It was beautiful. Anguilla is the dopest shit in the world to me. I gotta be honest with you. The food was beautiful. This is not a shout out. This is not shot at Grenada. I should say that because we were in Grenada over the New Year's. Shout out to my girl Amanda Seals, who was a host, one of our hosts in Grenada. She was
Sound like you making it a battle.
Not making it a battle.
I mean, this Charlamagne versus Amanda. I mean, what's going on?
Nah, we were staying with Charlamagne in Grenada too, but
whoa. So is that 2 for Charlamagne and 1 for Amanda?
this is what I'm saying. I'm saying if it was a battle between Anguilla and Grenada,
Well, go on.
Anguilla would knock the fucking shit out of Grenada.
Damn, Amanda, you got beef.
No, Grenada, beautiful place, beautiful people. I just think Anguilla, the food was amazing. The ambiance was amazing. This is not, I love all my Grenadians. Grenada was my first Caribbean experience. It's great. But, man.
It was just a sexy vibe.
Yeah, just Anguilla was just fantastic. We got to go in that LeBron house.
Ooh.
We had dinner in that LeBron house.
I need to
ate my
know
first
about this.
oxtail. Oh, real quick. We got another special guest in the house. We got Vince Valhalla over here. Valhalla Entertainment. Y'all know this.
What's going on?
It's a big fucking record label down in Miami. Independent music master right there. He was actually one of the people on my head when I said that I hadn't had oxtail before. Yeah. I'm from Louisiana. We don't eat oxtail like that. But surprisingly, yeah. But you're Haitian, so you eat it all the time.
All the time, yeah.
Yeah, you're Haitian, so you eat whatever you can.
I'm neither.
Like whatever is available to eat. It's not like you know.
I mean, luckily I grew up in Miami and I had a decent childhood, so I had everything I wanted to eat. But yes, you are.
Shout out to my Haitians. I don't want nobody to be waiting at my fucking car with a machete. Or
Much love to the Haitians.
Shout out to my Haitians.
But nor am I Haitian, nor am I but I still had oxtail. How you not have oxtail?
But you from New York though.
It's true indeed.
So y'all have all that, like in Louisiana, we have our own specific type of cuisine there, and I just don't ever remember having oxtail, but I had it. I ate the oxtail. I ate the curry goat.
Bomb, huh?
Bomb.
Next level, huh?
Next level.
Now, did you have hot sauce with it?
No, I didn't eat any hot sauce with it.
Hey.
Why are you so disappointed? Like,
because I mean, if you gonna do it, you got to do it.
Can I be honest with you? I'm not a big hot sauce fan. I'm really not a big hot sauce fan. I like the flavor of the food as it was intended. I don't like I'm not a big hot. I can't think of anything I really put hot sauce on.
You're not supposed to put hot sauce on oxtails and curry goat.
Ooh.
Why not?
The sauce is supposed to be so much that like you don't have to. Like,
well, here's what I like to say. It's not like hot sauce, not that deafening hot sauce that take away from the flavor.
Right.
I'm talking about some flavorful hot sauce that enhances
crystal
but if
hot
it's the
sauce.
Right Caribbean food.
Frank's red hot sauce.
Okay,
you know what? I agree with you.
There we go.
In Haitian, like in a Haitian culture, we put pickles on stuff. So
the fuck is a pickle, dog?
Pickles is like, I don't know if you ever seen. It looks like help me out. It looks like
I don't know.
Like chickpea, like little
like salad, like not salad.
Like how people put like the
coleslaw. It looks like coleslaw, but it's actually hot sauce.
But it's like
I've had that before. Yeah.
Y'all some old.
Like,
but that's real. That's hot.
But
that's hot.
Yeah.
That's hot. Yeah. But I agree with you.
See, I don't understand. I'm from Louisiana, and we do the gumbo, and the spices are very important. I don't understand just the willingness to just taste hot.
No.
Burn my fucking mouth.
See, that's where you're getting it messed up. I'm not saying go for the deathly hot, but you gotta listen. If you're gonna be a world traveler now, brother,
I'm a world traveler.
There's different sauces, there's different foods. Once you start stamping that passport, you gotta open your palate. You know what I mean? You gotta be willing to sprinkle some things on and just try it, just to say that I tried that. So
now that I have been in the LeBron house, I see why LeBron decided to come to LA. That happened while I was over. There was a very eventful week in the news. While I was gone, I see why LeBron decided to come to LA. Man, you can't go back to Cleveland after you leave that house. That house shows you what you're not gonna get in Cleveland, which is fly shit. Shout out to Cleveland.
Well, on Bron's level, you can get fly shit anywhere.
Maybe, but not like that.
Yeah,
because ain't no beaches in Cleveland.
You know what? I agree with you.
But no, seriously, we were in the house. I want to talk to you because we had dinner in the home. the dude that showed us the house tried to pull a Get Out move on Charlamagne. I'm gonna put those pictures out later on.
A Get Out move.
Yeah, man. This dude was. I never met a dude that was more impressed by Charlamagne than the guy. The guy. This is what happens to me. The dude is a TMZ fan, right? He goes, "Yo, big TMZ fan, come over and see the house. Beach House was right next door to us, right?" And I get over there, and at first when I introduced him to Charlamagne, he didn't know who he was. Like he off site, he didn't know. But between the time that we met him earlier in the day and the time we went over for dinner, this nigga did his Googles. And once he did his Googles, he was like, "You know what, Van? I don't think you're the nigga.
Yeah.
I think you're the nigga I needed to know."
He was upgraded.
Definitely upgraded.
Yeah.
And something else about that. This was a real fear that we had. Shout out to Mike Russell, by the way. Mike Russell is this guy's name. He was very, very polite and kind with us, and he had the private chef at the house cook the oxtail and all of that stuff like that. It was great. But there were moments in the night, we cut the night short, and I'll tell you why. Shows you kind of how things are. We over there, we chilling, we vibing, we eating oxtail, we drinking rum. Mike pulls out his iPhone. He's going to put the playlist on, right? And I'm expecting to, get like Mike's take on music. I'm expecting to get Mike's gonna put the Cranberries about to pop on, some shit like that. Mike's gonna say, "They're fucking Metallica." He's from Boston.
So I take it Mike's white.
Mike's white.
Okay, all right.
Mike's white. He's like in his mid 40s or early 50s or something like that. Mike and Natalie, great people. And Mike puts on Jay-Z, and he goes, "Ha ha! Bet you guys didn't know about this shit." And Hard Knock Life comes on, and Mike starts rapping along. I look at Charlamagne. Charlamagne looks at me. Then next thing you know, Jigga comes on. I look at Charlamagne. And what we're thinking, the same thing. We're thinking, it's a matter of time before Mike lets a motherfucking N-word slip. It's a matter of time before Mike lets a nigga slip. And at that point, we gotta smack him up.
Right.
So after the night, after he kept drinking, we brought the Remy out.
More rum.
And Mike was bopping and he was getting into old school Rockefeller shit. We decided, you know what? It's time to leave before Mike does it to himself. But he was cool.
He didn't slip?
Nah, not while we were there.
Y'all didn't even try to trap him?
Why? What's the like?
The trap is when you throw on a nigga populated song.
And then see if he'll go for it?
See if he goes for it.
But then if he goes for it, like, what's the upside? Like, what do we get if he might say nigga? Now
the upside is you got to put the slaps on him. But now that's the true test. You don't want to put the slap on him.
We don't want to put the slaps on him, though.
Listen, you gave him the scapegoat. You allowed him to play the playlist.
Yeah, because if the nigga is in his heart, I want it to come out.
Nigga what?
But if it's not, but if it's not,
nigga what?
We did do that song too. But shout out to Mike though. We did that song. He had the radio edit. That's how you know a white dude is.
He good people. He
had the radio edit. It was a lot of jiggle.
He could come around. That brings me to something blasphemous that you said, brother. I read your tweets.
Okay.
I saw your tweets, and I saw that you said in 2001 the best album to come out was G-Dep.
Child of the Ghetto.
No. Child of the Ghetto was dope, but you do realize the Blueprint came out in 2001, right?
And Still Matter, yeah.
Yeah. So you're telling me, and respect to G-Dep, but you're telling me, and I love G-Dep's album. Every Day was on that. Special Delivery was on that.
Yeah.
But you telling me that was better
Danger
than
Zone,
the Blueprint, which is one of Jay-Z's best albums. Girls. Yeah. I mean, come on, huh? Come on. That's blasphemous.
I like G-Dep, Child of the Ghetto better. That's better.
We need to take this poll.
Let me tell you something.
First of all, can we start up in here? G-Dep versus Blueprint Jay-Z.
Blueprint.
Thank you.
First of all, I don't even know if I should count in this.
Why?
No, come on.
Because I'm going to always, like, Jay-Z is like...
See, that's what I'm saying. Y'all got...
3 against 1.
You listen, y'all can have it. I'm saying, for me...
That was just disrespectful.
G-Dep, like... listen, man. That
you know when somebody says something or posts something that make you really think about pressing the unfollow?
Hey, listen. By the way, I would say
that hurt my heart.
I'm going to be real with you. The Blueprint is a fantastic album.
Stop. Don't dig deeper. One of his best. Don't dig deeper. Don't dig. You gonna do it.
I put a lot of Jay-Z albums over the Blueprint, man.
Here come the unfollow, bro.
I put a lot of Jay-Z albums over the Blueprint. I love the Blueprint.
Blueprint is a classic.
I love the Blueprint. My favorite Jay-Z album is the Black Album. I think
gotta have Reasonable Doubt up there.
Reasonable Doubt up there. I think 444 might be Jay-Z's best album.
444 is not better than Blueprint,
right.
but 444 was bomb. 444 was dope for a lot of reasons why I like the Carters. It's just grown. You know what I mean? He's on a grown.
So LeBron went to LA.
Yes, indeed.
Talk to me about this because you're a big LeBron fan.
Big LeBron fan. I love the move.
I I don't understand you LeBron fans.
I'm going to talk to you about it.
Yeah,
because there's different levels of Bron fan. You know, there's Bronsexuals. There's, you know. Yeah. These are dudes that just immense them, so they want to be inside of LeBron. Mm-hmm. I'm not that dude.
Right.
I'm not that dude. I am a Bron fan. I appreciate the level of commitment he puts into the game, the commitment he puts into fitness. Mm-hmm. I see him do things on the court that, you know, years from now, we all going to marvel at. You know, right now, when you're caught up in
like
it.
What?
Oh, my God, just his stats. Just look at his stats. Like, there's nothing that he can't do. He could play any position. This dude is like a walking linebacker on the basketball court. He's huge. He's dominant. Whenever he drives a lane, he can score. Like, the only thing I want more of Bron, because I'm a huge MJ fan. So MJ is like my top tier, right? Yeah. Is if he just had that killer instinct a little more. And I'll even give that to Kobe a little something, you know, over Bron. But Bron is right there, but he ain't there over MJ.
Tell you something about LeBron James, man. I'm happy to have LeBron James in LA because I think LeBron James is the most important athlete in the world right now.
Absolutely.
I think he's the most important athlete of his generation.
Absolutely.
And I think a lot of the reasons why LeBron is such an important athlete have absolutely nothing to do with basketball.
True.
However, if we were to keep it strictly to a basketball situation.
Strictly to basketball.
Strictly to basketball.
Now, do you know your basketball? I know basketball, man.
I know my basketball.
Okay.
If we keep it strictly to basketball, I think a lot of people marvel at LeBron's physicality. Mm-hmm. I think a lot of people marvel at LeBron's ability to stuff a stat sheet. But at the end of the day, I think LeBron James, his failure to win at the highest level more takes him out of the conversation for me.
Of who?
Like, I mean, listen.
Out of the conversation of MJ, sure.
Out of the conversation of MJ, I think I would take Magic Johnson over LeBron James.
Well, this is where we're going to have a conversation.
I think Kobe, like, I love having, what bothers me is I love having LeBron in LA.
Right.
LeBron's good, changes the culture no matter where he goes. It's fantastic. But people right away are saying that LeBron James is one of the best 5 Lakers ever. He hasn't played a minute for the Lakers yet.
Well, I think what they're saying is
one of the best players ever to wear the jersey.
Exactly.
Kobe Bryant, to me, LeBron can't do anything to supplant Kobe. I think Kobe's a better all-around player than LeBron James. Not all around in every different statistical category.
You're digging yourself.
But I think that if I'm going to win basketball games, I'd rather have Kobe.
Okay, let's talk about this.
I'd rather have Kobe, man.
Let's talk about this. You do know in the first couple of championships, Kobe had Shaq, right?
True.
And Shaq was extremely dominant. Yeah. I'm talking extremely dominant.
Yeah.
Not Kobe. Bron never had that. Bron has had D. Wade. Bron has had Bosh.
Yeah.
But he's never had somebody purely dominant like a Shaq on his squad.
Very few players have.
Absolutely, very few players have. Not only that, you're talking about a man who has brought in, you know, teams that you can't even really remember names on to the finals every single year.
In the East, though.
Absolutely in the East. Yeah. But still, he brought them to the finals every single year.
There are other guys in the East who have done that as well. Like Jason Kidd took teams to the finals where it was just Jason Kidd.
Not every year.
Iverson,
not consecutive like that.
Not every year, but the problem is it's not that big of a feat in the East.
It's not if you're comparing it to the West.
It's not that big of a feat in the East. When you talk about what's going on, if LeBron James had been in the West last year, do they make the finals?
No.
Right.
No. But
they're a 4 or 5 seed.
But I think it's big that he even took on that challenge to come to the West. You see what I'm saying?
I think it's big now. Yeah, man. Yeah. He's got to play in the West a little bit.
He now has brought that to the West. But in terms of his dominance and how amazing he is on the court, you can't really dispute his stat line. I mean, from scoring to assists to...
You can dispute the results.
Well, the results are
as brilliant as he is. Just putting LeBron James on your team mean that you're going to win the championship.
No, but it makes it where you have a chance, right? Look at that there. Look at that there.
Like okay, when did Kobe miss the playoffs? No, he didn't. He missed the playoffs once when he was hurt. Every other year they made the playoffs. They made the playoffs. What are you talking about? They made the playoffs every year. He missed the playoffs one year. Kobe Bryant missed the playoffs.
So the argument.
Wait. when Rudy Tomjanovich came in, so wallowing, you're wrong. When Rudy Tomjanovich came in, Kobe got hurt, they missed the playoffs. Remember, they kept getting bounced from the playoffs. AC, they played the Suns and stuff like that. That's in the West as well. As a matter of fact, like that's in the West where every single year you have a guy averaging 35 points a game. If you take that same Lakers team that Kobe was on and would put them in the East now, that team would have gone deep into the playoffs.
You think they would have dethroned LeBron?
I don't know. I don't know.
Well, statistics show that nobody in the East has ever dethroned LeBron James.
Right.
So
it's true.
I mean,
all the elite NBA talent is in the Western Conference.
Well. I mean, that's disputable.
Okay.
All of them is disputable because you still got LeBron James.
Right. You got him in the East.
And he is the most.
Shout out to DeMar DeRozan, to Kyrie Irving, to all of those guys. Your Stephs, your Durants,
your
Hardens, all of those guys are Western. Anthony Davis, all of those guys are Western.
So now he came to the West to take on that challenge.
Let's see what happens.
But I will say this for a lot of Laker fans. I'm gonna be 100 with y'all. I think like LeBron is here for more than just basketball.
Of course he is.
No, absolutely. And I feel like if you're really, wanting him to win 2, 3, 4 championships, I don't think that's going to happen. Will he get 1? Will he get 2? Maybe. But I think that he is comfortable within his greatness right now, and he's thinking past basketball.
Do you know what the real thing about LeBron sort of is? And I see this a lot of times with other people. LeBron's celebrity to me is celebrity in America used to be anchored to what it was that you did, right? Mm-hmm. Like Michael Jordan was obviously a huge celebrity because a global celebrity because of how he played and the style in which he played and the dunking and all of the stuff that he could do, the athleticism and stuff like that. But
his airness,
right? Other guys in the league could do that, right?
Not like MJ.
Not like MJ.
Dominique was power,
but still though, like Dominique. Well, there were other highlight. What ended up happening with Michael Jordan was the sheer excellence of him became what he was known for. The fact that once Michael Jordan figured it out, you could see Michael Jordan was the best player and he had a relentless drive to win. It seems that now, in not just sports, but in a lot of different things, the outcome and the results of what you're doing, cool. As long as you look cool doing it.
Yeah, that's the problem with this generation. I feel like this generation, I see a lot of cool ball going on. Mm-hmm. Whereas back when MJ and those guys was playing,
you had to win.
You had to win. You had to go at it. They were fighting. They was, there's a lot of stuff that I miss in basketball nowadays. One is that killer instinct, like that I have to come in and drop 60 and just take your heart. You know what I'm saying? And that's what MJ had. Like if there was a checklist of every single thing you could have to be a bona fide star, MJ checked everything on that list. He was cool. He was a star on and off the court. He was, sexy when he dunked. Like everything. He had it all.
Huh? You like that shit?
My mom. This is what my mom said.
This is what your mom said.
Yeah.
That wasn't your word. I mean, look.
So you're saying I should pause myself?
I'm not.
I pause myself.
This is a free and open area.
I pause myself.
The nigga sexy, you like him?
No. I think he's a well-groomed individual. Yeah, but
he's a handsome guy. Michael Jordan was a handsome guy. That's another thing about.
Hey!
What?
Ho!
I can't.
Come on. What you doing here?
Hey, let me tell you something. Black men, you look at another brother, you think the nigga's handsome. Say it. Like it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
well, when I almost said it.
Nah, you said sexy. That's different.
What did you just say?
I said handsome. You said sexy.
I said he was sexy when he dunked.
Well, right. Well,
that's if you add two of those, dunking and sexy, that's problematic. Okay, I pause myself. Moving on.
Let's deal. But yeah, man. So look, I'm excited for LeBron James. And I tell you something. I'll tell you something. Like this. There's an area of greatness that LeBron James has surpassed almost any of his contemporaries in. That is so much more important than whether or not he's better than Michael Jordan, whether or not he's better than Kobe Bryant, whether or not he's better than any of these guys. And this is very, you have to say this. Because
off the court.
Mm-hmm. I think that what LeBron James has signified and the culture change that he brings anywhere first of all, he's succeeded on the court. Let's not act like he hasn't succeeded. He's a 3-time NBA champion. I think he's a 4-time MVP. So LeBron James, to act like he hasn't been glorious on the court would be silly of me or silly of anyone. I think the important thing to remember is that this was one of the first athletes that didn't pretend like he couldn't be the man that we needed him to be in order to get somewhere.
Absolutely.
Even the great Michael Jordan, for a long time, didn't address issues that were going on in our communities, didn't address issues that were going on in any community because of his need and want to be viable.
That corporate dollar.
I think that LeBron has done something greater than any basketball accomplishment with his basketball, is he's shown that you don't have to sacrifice or marginalize yourself in any way to be taken seriously and to be a financial sort of cash cow, financial mega giant in these industries. You can still be strong. You can still stand up for your people. You can still be outspoken. You can still be all of these things, and all of that stuff will come to you as well. And what that's going to do is inspire an entire generation of not just athletes, not just basketball players, but athletes in general to say, yo, I'm going to do my thing on the court, but where I'm needed, I'm going to be available. And that takes a hell of a lot of bravery, and that's way more important than winning the fucking NBA championship.
I 3,000% agree with you. And jumping on that point, most greats are students of the game, right? But LeBron is student not only of the game, but student of yesteryear athletes, right? Your Muhammad Ali's, your Bill Russells, guys of that nature.
That put it on the line.
That put it on the line, right? So you have to be willing to leave something other than your basketball imprint. You have to be willing to leave a bit of your heart and your soul out on the line as well to be forever remembered.
Right.
Yeah.
It's true. Listen, I have to ask you guys, all you guys are my friends. Lauren is over here.
We're not friends.
Jay, we're definitely friends.
Yeah, we're just getting there.
Like we're all friends, man.
No, we're getting there, man.
So Jason's over there thinking about how he tried to besmirch Kobe Bryant's name. Jason, the black man hater. But I have to ask you guys a question, and seriously, this is a question that I was dealing with, something that happened while I was in Willa. So there was a story that happened at a Whataburger. I think it was in San Antonio. There was a kid in the Whataburger who had a Make America Great hat on. Make America Great Again hat on. He had the hat on, and a guy comes over, slaps the hat off his head, takes the hat, something like that, and the kid gets a chance to tape this and put it on the internet.
Right.
And says that he didn't want the guy, didn't want charges pressed on him. I think they put this brother, the guy who did this, the accused.
Did he throw his drink on him too?
Threw a drink on him as well. The accused in this, they put his information online. I think he's lost his job and all that stuff like that. The kid, I don't think he pressed any charges. He's only 16 or 17 years old. Now, I tweeted about this issue. Okay, and I'm going to read the tweet to you guys. I tweeted about this issue, and I want to have a open conversation about whether I was wrong about this tweet and how are we supposed to deal with these issues when we have legit and honest feelings. My tweet was, let me find it right.
So you want me to kill time while you look up this tweet?
No. It's going to be right here.
Van's looking up a tweet.
Let me see. Oh, okay. So this is the tweet. So this tweet has 4,000 comments on it. It's been retweeted 1,000 times.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So the Make America Great Again crowd is not happy with me. I was called an enemy of America by Mark Dice, some dickhead. Okay. So this is what it says. So I tweeted, "Wish I could take the high road, but your MAGA hat reads like a swastika to me. So, yeah, maybe I'm no longer a decent person." And I'll tell you what I meant by that tweet. Is I think that, first of all, I would never advocate assaulting or stealing from a 16-year-old kid. I would never advocate for that. I would never say that, yo, good, that was dope that you did that. But I will say this, and this is just what's inside of me. I really want to have a serious conversation about this. I no longer feel bad when bad things happen to Trump supporters. Now, I didn't say when horrible things happen to Trump supporters, meaning I'm not saying that if this dude would have took his fist and pummeled this kid's face into the ground, or if he would have been shot and killed like happens to so many black kids his same age. I'm not saying horrible things, but I'm saying just something like that. It's hard for me to feel That's why I asked the question, am I a decent person? Because when it comes to this back and forth with these elements that I feel like are destroying the discourse in our country, I don't know if I can be decent anymore. I don't know if I've crossed the line to where I think there's been such venom and so many dangerous and scary things.
Well, let me ask you a question. When you saw the video, how did it initially make you feel?
I didn't care.
Mm-hmm.
I like it, and that's sad.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I didn't care that something bad happened to someone, and I should care.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think part of that not caring is the fact that we feel like our president doesn't care.
Well, I know that he doesn't care when it happens. I mean, he said as much. Like, and another thing is and a lot of people came out and said that I was endorsing violence against a kid, which I never did. I never endorsed anything. I never said, "Ha, great, that was amazing, that was wonderful." I never did that. But I think one thing was that when Trump at these different rallies, when Trump encouraged violence against protesters, and then that violence took place, and none of these supporters said, "Yo, you can't do that."
Right.
Like nothing.
Specifically when he said, "Get him out of here," when he was when they was pushing the sister. Out of
When he specifically when we saw the black guy that was being led out of the rally by police or security at the venue or whatever, get punched in his face. And when we saw Trump say that, if you do this to any of these people, then I'll pay. I'll tell you exactly some of the stuff that he said. He says, if you do this to people,
I'll pay your fine, or I'll get you out of jail or something like that.
I'll get you out of jail, all of this stuff like that. And when I didn't see any moral outrage then, when I didn't see anyone then call him on that, when I saw the support go up, when I saw more people kind of glom onto that, and what he said was, if you see somebody getting ready to throw a tomato, knock the crap out of them. Would you? Seriously? Okay, just knock the hell out of them. I promise you, I will pay for the legal fees. I promise. He said, when security, he said in Las Vegas at a rally later on that month, he said security guards were too gentle to a protester. He said, he's walking out of here with big high fives, smiling and laughing. I'd like to punch him in the face, I tell you. And it's not like those things didn't come to pass. So I'm wondering, how do we take the high road? And I'll leave that to the room. Vince, how do we take the high road?
So I want to add to what you said, too, because Trump actually tweeted when Maxine Waters, I don't know if you remember, Maxine Waters had a rally and she said, like, she never incited violence or never said to commit violence to other people. And she said something, I forgot exactly what she said, but Trump actually tweeted and said that Maxine Waters said to hurt other Trump supporters or whatever the case may be. And basically it was almost like a call to action.
He said, be careful what you wish for.
Exactly. Yeah. So, like, I see it as like what he's doing, he's almost giving a call to action.
He's provoking.
He's provoking like harm to not only Maxine Waters, but anybody that she's connected with, and even anybody of color. So
I think he's just the face of it, because for me, I feel like, now it's very outward and you get to see it, but like, how many times has like your grandmother or somebody older in your family told you there's a certain way you act in a room full of people who don't look like you, a certain way you speak, a certain, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we've always been taught to be very careful about what we say, how we feel when it comes to other races, specifically Caucasian people, but that's not what happens with us.
White, ain't no Caucasian, what the fuck is this?
But that's not what happens with us. Like, when they tell us, like, okay, this job isn't for you, and the real reason is because someone that they want to look out for, their own people, maybe not even as good as you, that's just who they want to help. They're not looking out for us. They're not second, you know what I'm saying, thinking about the families we're not feeding and stuff like that. But I just think that Trump has put a face to it. And I definitely feel like when I saw that video, I just kept scrolling. I was like, oh, okay, cool.
First of all, we should say here that, like,
it's selective outrage, Van.
It is, but is it? I said white people are not the enemy. We're talking about a specific group of people, and they're not just white. We're talking about a specific group of people that seem to be torpedoing.
It's fair to say a majority of them are white.
You can say that, but I don't want to, because race is less important than ideology. You know what I mean? Race is much less important than your mindset. Race is sometimes a component of those things. It's a symptom or a descriptor of how you might look or view something, and you shouldn't always use it to paint people with a broad brush. I guess what I'm asking, and D, you're a wise dude, bro. what I'm asking is, because obviously I got destroyed and they're still coming. Like, I got everything. They're still coming, but they're
forever going to come.
Once again, these are very important conversations to have, man, and that's why this next podcast is just unbelievably key and important right now. So happy to be reading for it. Pay some bills right now. Yeah. Let's pay some bills right now and talk about a very, very important podcast, Afropunk Solution Sessions. It's co-produced by Afropunk and How Stuff Works. And it's a podcast that explores real-world solutions to the problems that marginalized people face. Okay, we're talking about from running for political office to restorative justice to activism. Afropunk Solution Sessions arms people with the knowledge and tools they need to effect change and build power. That's building power. We're not talking about tearing anything down. We're talking about building for ourselves in Black communities. Very important. Every Wednesday, co-hosts Bridget Todd and Yves Jeffcoat speak with members of the Afropunk community, celebrated thinkers, and community leaders like Stacey Abrams, Matthew Kincaid, and Patrice Cullors on how to resist oppression and stay engaged. Afropunk Solution Sessions is inciting meaningful conversation and motivating people to make a difference. Some of these conversations include, what does it mean for Black people to have a seat at the table? What does that look like? We talk about it all the time, but what's the real world mechanism that allows that to happen? And what's that picture look like once it's painted? Very important. How can we expand reproductive rights for marginalized people? And how, this is the most important question to me, how can we reclaim our space? A lot of times we think and believe that we have never been in a position of power in this world. That is not true. A lot of things we're talking about building, we need to build them, but a lot of things we just need to go back and grab them again. Listen and subscribe on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts. I am so excited about this, and I really do hope you guys give it a shot. Right, what I'm asking is, how wrong was I?
I don't think you were wrong in the sense of how you felt, because I feel like a lot of people feel the way you feel. A lot of people feel like he is the face and the head of a lot wrong that's going on just energy-wise in America right now. What you saw in that video was someone that let their energy out at the hat, not even the person that was wearing the hat. That hat did something to that person, very much how I think you said the swastika did or does to Black people, you know? So in this day and age of social media, though, everything that's said, you know, it's like you never text somebody and they respond back in a different way than how you meant the text to come off, and you're like, damn, I should have called them. You know what I'm saying? In this day and age of social media, people love to twist and turn words and make them into whatever they want to make them out. Yeah. And the person that's connected to those words, they are now twisting who you are and what you stand for. If you get what I'm saying. Sure. So, you know, there's I'm in the middle. You know, I'm in the middle of, when I saw it, I went, man, I wouldn't have did that to that kid. Yeah. But I understood what he felt at that moment and at that time for that hat, because that hat is connected to this man who brings such a negative energy that it breeds negative things.
Contempt. Right. And something else, I heard a lot of people say something, and I love the straw man arguments because I love to burn up straw men. But I saw a lot of people say that me saying that the hat read like a swastika was in some way disrespectful to the millions of Jews that died in the Holocaust. And
that's a reach.
That's a ridiculous reach. Yeah. And I
but that goes back to, you know, once you put something out, they're going to make it into whatever they want to make it into. Right.
So I didn't call anyone a Nazi, because if you call someone specifically a Nazi, the Nazis were the people who killed 6 million innocent Jews and 6 million people of other ethnicities as well. I said a swastika, and it's very important to remember that a swastika is not just a terrible symbol to Jews. A swastika here in America has been very proudly co-opted by neo-Nazi groups, by certain factions of the Ku Klux Klan, by anyone who wants to assert white superiority over you. A swastika is a weapon. I believe that a MAGA hat is representative of someone who is trying to assert white identity superiority over you. I don't think that there's any reason for me to not believe that. I think that that even in the responses to the tweet, they were severely racist. They were unbelievably racist. Okay? So it's not as if I got a bunch of people saying you should be ashamed of yourself. And by the way, I did get a lot of that. There were a lot of Trump supporters that came at me and was like, you know what? That's not going to solve anything. Like, there were a lot of people who said, yo, I'm not even a Trump supporter. We should never, ever, ever be in a situation where we don't feel appalled by something like this happening to a kid. I get that. I totally get that. That makes a lot of sense. And those were the people that I engaged with. But there were also a lot of niggas. There were a lot of, yo, I'm coming to your crib, watch your back, black nigga,
you know,
trash.
most racists don't think they racist.
I get it.
Yeah, they're so numb in their ignorance that they just spew hate like it's regular dialogue.
Right. But so, you know, and I tell everybody that threatened me on the internet that the one thing that I do agree with you guys with is the Second Amendment. So, you know, do with that.
But to answer your question,
do with that what you will.
I think saying there's never a situation where we should and want to incite violence to someone else. But at the same time, you said something that kind of sort of told people, okay, I understand. If that's the way you feel. You basically was like, you know what? It's almost. I'm
like, yo, you know, like my man Mark Lamar Hill said, I didn't lose any sleep. I didn't lose much sleep over it, and by much I mean any. Mm-hmm. But I will say this: I am not and never will advocate any violence against anyone who has a different political belief than me. Mm-hmm. I don't advocate violence against people who hate me. I don't advocate violence against anyone. I am completely anti-violent. But
how much winning has the high road gotten anybody?
I'm asking the question, bruh. What I'm asking is just a real question: is how long we gonna play nice with these motherfuckers?
That's real.
Exactly.
That's real.
It's not about. I'm not even saying play dirty. Dirty is violence. Dirty is. I'm like, how long we gonna play nice with these motherfuckers? How long are we gonna act like simply being better than someone is gonna be enough to get the job done? Mm-hmm. How long are we gonna act like simply at a certain point you have to be willing to at least understand how depraved your enemy is to win hearts and minds. Mm-hmm. And if you keep talking about yourself, this is gonna win out, this is gonna win out, this is gonna win out, I guess I'm just not so sure anymore.
Yeah. No, I completely understand how you feel. It's a frustrating time that we're in, and what's even crazier to me is the fact that the head, who is the president, speaks more hate than any other tweet that I've read. If you just go down his tweet list, it's full of hate. And it's full of it's brazen. Right. And it's just like he just says it with no regard of what anybody thinks. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
yo, understand, Trump says that the media is the enemy and that reporters
fake news,
all of that stuff like that. And remember that we lost.
I'm telling y'all, it's because
we lost a bunch of reporters. I think
we're not supposed to talk back. We're not supposed to, you know what I'm saying? Like this country wasn't designed to listen to us and to hear us. So when you do or say something like that, you're too loud. You're inciting anger. You're upset.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like that's all that is. And they're taking a high road or a low road. There's not really either way. Someone's going to be upset at you because you're not supposed to feel. You're just supposed to be handed a to do for your life. Do it and stay out the way.
You know what I will say about him is he lives whatever it is that is his truth, right?
Sure.
And that's what we need to start doing.
Right.
Not giving a fuck and live
that
within
was my
our
truth. My truth was like, yo, I gotta be real, man. I don't fucking care.
But that's what I was getting.
Right.
You know, it's not even You know, I mean, it's a topical conversation, absolutely. But what I'm saying is, you know, to get to a place of, you know, because there's a lot of people out there, not just you, who say something and they go, fuck, oh man, the backlash is gonna come, blah, 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 blah. But if you're living your truth and that's how you feel and that's what you believe needs to happen collectively across the board for there to be any type of significant change, you got to live your truth.
It's true. We got Vince here. Listen, I met Vince online, you know what I mean? Met Vince like I've met so many of my friends on Twitter. Me and Vince over the last couple of years have been you know, real friends. I remember one time when I had my health scare of 2016. I'm laying on a hospital bed, laying there. I'm like, my shit. Doctors hooked me up. I'm looking up. I'm like, yo, man, am I really fucked up? I get a call and it's Vince, man.
Wow.
Vince hit me up like, yo, are you okay? Are you doing all right, man? I see you, all this fucking shit going on. I was like, yo, that meant a lot to me. But the one thing that's the most interesting about Vince is that he is basically a stripper.
A stripper?
Oh, great.
Whoa.
I tell you why. I tell you why Vince is basically a stripper. Because
I think he has a reason why he.
The only person,
Magic Vince in the building.
The only people that defend Drake as vehemently as Vince does.
So that makes him a stripper?
That makes him a stripper. Like, I tell you one thing right now. The only Drake defenders that are as big, the only strippers, and I don't know, here's the thing that I find interesting about Scorpion.
Yeah.
Obviously, Drake has dropped Scorpion.
Right.
It's 25 tracks. Mm-hmm. Okay, I listened to it 4 times.
What's your favorite song?
In its entirety.
How many?
Nonstop. Nonstop is a fucking nonstop.
I like Nonstop, but my favorite one on the album is Emotionless.
Really?
I feel like from
like
top to bottom, he rocked that song. Yeah. He rocked that song.
Nonstop is my shit. I'm light skinned.
How many of the 25?
4.
4? Only 4.
4.
4.
Shout out to Shiggy, because if not,
I was about to say you don't like
only
Kiki?
nobody would really give a fuck about that song. Like that.
So you
song
don't
is
like
cool.
Talk Up? You don't like Mob Ties? You don't like
really? It's not. Well, let me tell you something about Drake. Let me tell you the frustrating thing.
You don't like the Michael Jackson one? You don't like After Dark with Ty Dolla?
The Michael Jackson.
Hey, let me.
I like the Michael.
Hey, let me tell you.
Michael.
How many times have you listened to it?
4 times. Hey, let me tell you something about Drake. None of the songs are bad. Like, Drake doesn't really have Drake and 40 have been doing their thing for so long that he doesn't have really the ability at this point to make a bad song. But if you're telling me like, yo, I'm getting excited over this shit, like 4 or 5 songs.
I think you reach a level in your career where you're now battling yourself, right? Like Hove is in a league bomb. You know, he's battling himself.
But Hove is still making shit that I'm like, yo, that's the shit.
Wait. But there's a lot of people. I love the Carter's album. There's a lot of people that's like, yo, that's B's album more than this Hove. Like,
she's rapping more than this him.
I'm just saying,
B got bars, man.
I mean, B is amazing.
Yeah.
Jay's amazing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
444, people had issue with that because that was just a little too adult. What's this old dude doing rapping? Nah.
But he was fucking spitting.
Listen,
yeah.
I agree with you. Right. What I'm saying is when you ascend to a certain level, you in competition with yourself. Mm-hmm. What's brilliant about Drake is there's nobody in the game that could do what Drake does.
Yeah.
Which is what?
Yeah.
Which is singing and rapping
so what?
On a high tier level. On a high tier level.
Wait. The Drake thing is just like the LeBron thing. Oh, why is LeBron so dope? Man, ain't another nigga that's 6'8", 6'9", 275 that could jump up. It doesn't matter.
No.
He winning championship?
That all connects
this album. Did this album live up to the hype that you thought it was going to?
Wait.
Be honest.
I'm about to be honest. Me saying that nobody in the game can sing and rap like him, that's artistry. That's what
For sure.
That's what he is.
Drake is fucking dope.
Exactly. He is an artist. And in terms of artistry, what he does is he go, okay, I'm gonna give a couple to the women. I'm gonna give a couple to the fellas.
All of this strategy. We're not talking about whether or not
certain
this music is classic, though. I know that's not what we're talking about.
But in a sense too, are we comparing to his other albums?
We're comparing it to we know a classic when we hear it. Is this album Aquemini? Is this album?
Come on, stop.
Wait.
Are we comparing it to Aquemini?
Wait. Does Drake have a classic?
Okay, so
I think he does.
All right, so let's back up.
No. And I'll tell you the only reason why I bring up the classics or not, because We are.
So you saying Drake don't have a classic album?
Nah, he doesn't have a classic.
People will argue that they
oh my
he
God.
doesn't have a classic. What he has is this is what Drake has. Drake has classic moments, and he has rap verses and moments in rap and singing to where you think there's no one who's better than this guy. And I will never, ever, ever hate on Drake's talent, but he is not an albums artist.
Okay, so
But-
I want to say something real quick.
Here
Just
comes.
to kind of let's
throw some
back up
dollar
a little
bills
bit.
at
First
Vince.
off, okay, as far as Drake is concerned, to be honest with you, I think Drake has won so much. What I've seen is that there's a group of people that they've seen his streak, his winning streak, happen again and again, and they like, yo, like, I want to see this guy lose. So when the Pusha T thing happened, everybody was rejoicing because, like, yo, it was a moment where we saw a person that won consistently. This is kind of the same thing that happened with Jay, because Jay was winning
Nas
so long.
with Ether won that battle.
Sure.
Yeah. So what happens is that I think what happens, we want to see, like, someone, like, sometimes we actually see someone winning so long that we like, yo, like, you know what? Like, I want to see how your demise is going to be. So it's like, I think a lot of people turned on Drake because...
I love Drake to death, but even if he hadn't been winning for a long time, that Pusha song would have still...
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
100%,
no. Pusha won in the battle. In terms of artistry, though, I feel what you're saying. You know, there's levels to everybody's success, right? And they build you up to bring you down. You know, I see, you know, it going on with one of my best friends, Kevin Hart. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Exactly.
you know, there's cats now that go, he ain't funny, he ain't that funny. It's like, huh? What? I mean, you know, he's reached the pinnacle of success in the comedic world. You know what I mean? And the same with Drake. He's reached the pinnacle. This is an artist where he could just throw out an album. It's going to go straight to the charts. You know what I'm saying? So at that point, you're in competition with yourself. That's what I mean by that.
So
Views is to me the closest to a classic in my eyes,
not even-
because
it's
it's
not even
his
that
most
good.
cohesive
Right, it's not even that
And
good.
do-
It's really not even.
Besides
me.
No shade to
Okay,
you
so
guys, but besides your age,
let me tell you what
people care about classic
I feel everything that you guys are
That's
saying.
true.
Feel with everything.
I don't think you do, man.
I do. I completely feel what you guys are saying. And let me tell you something.
Are you a Drake hater too?
I'm not a Drake hater at all.
Oh, okay, because he has a fan club of them.
I'm not a Drake hater at all. I
Oh.
think that Drake is fantastically talented.
Okay.
And I think, but this is what I'll say. I'll say Drake has sat on his perch as the #1 rapper for a very, very long time. And he's done it in a different way than anyone else has. He's done it in a very contemporary way. And the reason why I'll say that is because he's the only rapper that has been #1 for any amount of time that has not delivered an absolutely unforgettable, must-have, need to hear it chapter in hip-hop history. Drake does not have one specific album to where you have got to hear it.
You know what my favorite Drake album?
I would argue that So Far Gone was the closest thing to that.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the only reason why I say that is because there's some beats on there that, you know, it's a mixtape or whatever. But So Far Gone is the closest thing to that.
No, that was it.
Well,
Yeah.
I think
That was it.
Well, you can't really have you can have a
Why-
classic mixtape, but a classic album is you need 10, 13 tracks of original inspiration.
How many tracks is on So Far Gone?
What I'm saying is some of the stuff he's rapping over other.
Oh, yeah,
people.
yeah, okay,
You know what I'm
I got
saying?
you.
So for me, when you talk about Hove, you talk about Reasonable Doubt, you talk about guys who've done this multiple times. Reasonable Doubt, the Black Album, 444, whatever you
But think
believe his
about the
classes are.
time that
Nas,
you're talking
Illmatic.
about,
No, I don't even need to go back there. Kendrick gave you Damn. Kendrick gave you Good Kid, Mad City.
But
He
he's-
gave you to Pimp a Butterfly.
I think
That's
it's
not right there.
different.
I think it's unfair
No, but-
comparisons
no, it-
because
J.
that's-
Cole
I-
has to give you a full body
No,
of work.
what I'm
That's
saying
like
is,
bomb,
what I'm
but
saying
like-
is that's important music. I'm not talking about whether or not the music is listenable. I'm talking about it's important
I feel
music.
like Drake gets a knock from hip hop heads because he sings as well.
That's not true.
And, no, I've seen it happen. No, he just all for the ladies. He just be lady in it.
He does.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
also,
This
too, I
nigga
think
can
it's
rap
because...
his ass off.
But that's because
Yeah.
when Drake first came around and he was mixtape Drizzy, who was like really, really rapping. And
Y'all
like, you know what I'm
making-
saying?
I'm not talking about none of this shit.
But it
I'm talking about, is
transitioned
this
to
nigga
where
got
he is
classic?
now, and that's why a lot of people are
I got it.
falling off the
Right.
bandwagon.
I agree. And-
it transitioned. He used to be that. Now, he don't have to be. He put out...
Right.
Kiki, and that goes crazy. You know what I'm
once
saying?
you hit rock star status, you're playing in a different game. You're playing in a.
And I think he's actually making music for, just like how you said, he's not. I don't think his goal is to make a classic. His goal is to make the perfect playlist for everyone.
In a moment.
He wants to make sure he, just like how you said, he wants to reach
Is Drake's
women.
music he's central question?
He's LeBron with the stats.
Central, like with the stats, with no championships. I'm saying, simple question: Is Drake's music? We know that it's good. Mm-hmm. We know that it's.
Are you gonna say is it timeless?
Is Drake's music timeless? Is it important?
I think it's still timeless.
I think he has timeless moments. He has timeless moments with his music.
So when I guess what I'm saying is, because I go on, and a lot of this stuff is cult of personality too. If we talk about the Pusha battle, the reality is that Drake quit in the middle of a battle. Yeah.
What was he gonna do?
The fuck you mean? You supposed to go out on your sword. I love. Listen.
Like if your mom make you go back and fight and you get beat up 2-3 times after that, at some point you're gonna be like, Mom, I need to go home.
Did you hear the recent,
I need to go home.
Development that happened?
What happened?
So apparently, DJ Academics had a conversation with Drake.
I heard that. Shout out to Academics.
And he confirmed that what happened was he went. Yeah, he went to Wyoming for a couple weeks to work on the album with Ye, and apparently, like I said, this is all information from him. He's saying that Ye didn't really have like tough records, so basically he ended up working with Ye, and he played him the March 14th record.
Oh God.
And he basically was just like, yeah, man, I got a kid on the way. And basically Ye took that information and gave it to Pusha when it was pivotal for Pusha to come back. No, I'm not saying no. Yeah. The point I'm getting at is that, like, as far as why, like, I think me personally, I think Drake knew that, like, well, apparently Ye reached out to Jay Prince or whatever the case may be. So my thing is that I think he didn't want to go there with Pusha.
There was nowhere he could go. Where are you going to
go? What do you do after that?
At this point, you lost.
First of all,
I think he did respond.
Let me tell you something.
In the form of pride.
Don't say that.
Let me tell you something.
Don't talk about that press release.
First of all, you can't get on your record and sub a nigga after he didn't cut your head off. That's the first thing. Secondly, you can't. So like that's first thing.
I agree.
Secondly, there are no more subs. You're in the middle of war. You can't be subliminal about war. Secondly, I'll say this. There is an aspect to the story of Adidon that Drake couldn't really respond to because there is a gospel aspect to the record that wasn't on the same type of thing we had seen in the battle. But however, if we're to believe that Drake is the prodigious talent that we know that he is, you have to at least come back.
This is what I'm going to say. I think that Drake is more than talented to come back. I think what happened was he sat back like most, there was a time where I forgot who was trying to get Eminem to battle. And Eminem was already Eminem. He was like, why would I go and battle? I don't have anything to gain.
But Drake been coming for Pusha for a long time.
Oh no, I know. But in subs. I think what happened was they had a business meeting. I think all the powers that be, OVO, whether it's Jay Prince, everybody sat down and said, what are we really going to gain from going back and forth with Pusha? Pusha has everything to gain from this. Pusha won that battle. To come back, you're now going to go back and forth. This is playing into Pusha.
You should have never dissed him on Two Birds, One Stone.
Absolutely. So what you do is you take that L and you keep winning.
He's going to win.
He's going.
And Big never responded to hit him up too.
What?
Big never responded to hit him up.
No.
Big never.
Never responded to him up.
Who shot you before hit him up?
Yep.
Diddy said that he told him not to respond.
Yeah. No. In a very Jay Prince type of way to Drake. He said.
I understand why there wasn't a response because I think he would have had to play dirty.
You have to play. What Jay Prince said was pigs in the mud.
Where would you go?
Man, look.
Yeah.
I don't think that
I fuck with what y'all talking about. Here's the reality. I really thought that the battle with Pusha would bring, because when you look what would bring Drake out a little bit, a part of Drake that we hadn't seen before. And the reason why I say that is because Hov did Nas a favor by dissing him on Takeover. Nas, everything that Hov said about Nas on Takeover was absolutely correct. Nas was in a creative funk. Now, there were some things going on, like his mom was passing away. Nas was kind of like not focused. Stout was going back and forth. Nas was kind of confused about a lot of things, right? But when Hov hit Nas in the stomach, what he did was he made Nas get up and hit the heavy bag.
Absolutely.
And then Nas, chips all against him, has something that very few rappers have, which is a beautiful mind and a beautiful flow. He accesses that, he comes back, and when the lights are on, when we talk about these guys, LeBron, Drake, when the lights are on you, when it's do or die, we get it that you can do it night in, night out, right? We get it that you can do it on a Friday night in fucking Denver, and then on a Monday night in Miami, and then on a Sunday night in LA. But when the lights are on you, when everybody's watching, can you do it then? Like when it's time to you kill a feature, okay? You kill a single. But these albums are just, if we being objective, man, these albums aren't living up to the standard. He said his Mount Rushmore is him with 4 different expressions. Killer line, right? And Drake has had enough success to where you might put him on the Mount Rushmore of rap, right? Without a doubt. I don't know that anybody has been number one for as long as this. He's doing it a different way, and I respect that. But you ain't got one surefire classic album in you. With all of that talent, with all of that stuff. And a part of it is like his audience doesn't demand it. He can put out wherever he wants to put out, and everybody.
Now you're hitting it on the head.
And everybody's jamming it. So the audience, Drake never really has to show any. He doesn't have to show a curveball or nothing like that.
You're hitting it on the head. You know, bringing it back a little bit to when Nas hit Jay. Well, when Jay hit Nas, hit him in the belly, woke him up. Nas came, ripped it. Jay tried to come back. Didn't fare well.
Doesn't matter.
Didn't fit. Wait, no, it does. It does.
Went out on the shield because he a fucking G.
All people remember is Nas ate Jay up.
So
whether Jay came out with that next track or he did not,
you lose.
Right.
Nobody cares if you lose.
What I'm saying, I'm saying is Drake knew he lost. He said, "All right, I'm gonna give you that." Now I would be a fool to go back and forth with you during the summer when my album's about to come out and kill the.
Was he subbing Pusha on Scorpion?
He subs Pusha all the time.
Right. So if you go sub him, what's up with this generation?
But you don't.
If you're gonna go through the trouble of subbing him, why not get in the studio?
Let me also say this. I love a good battle. Love it. I would have loved for Drake to go back and them go back and forth.
But could you handle
W was
Drake?
Fire, by the way.
But could you handle Drake? Could you handle Drake came back and it was like a Meek Drake situation, and Drake completely, it was just like, what the heck? Like, could we handle that?
Wait,
like,
he didn't have any problem putting his throat on that nigga neck and breaking his neck. He didn't have any problem breaking Meek neck.
He did, but Meek didn't. But Meek didn't come like Pusha came. Pusha came for the juggler. I'm talking about kids.
Pusha baited.
Yeah.
This is the first time.
And you know Pusha had more.
Drake is so cerebral and so absolutely devastatingly precise with everything that he did. This is the first time he wasn't just out-rapped. He was out-maneuvered.
Yes, like there's his whole strategy.
And so to me, I know this is a little bit old that we're talking about this, but the reality is that, Scorpion's out, and when these albums come out, I run back to them. My favorite Drake album is Take Care. I think Take Care is a phenomenal album. But when I look, and maybe this is more about me than it is about rap. When I even look at albums like Forest Hill with J. Cole, and I'm like, yo, this is timeless classic hip hop. I look at these albums like, yo, this is timeless classic hip hop. These are songs that mean something. They're meaningful to me. And it's not like Drake has never made those songs. Sure, he's made them. But I don't know, man.
The transition is there. That's what I'm saying. It's like Drake is he's a different type of Drake. So classic to him is like putting JT from the City Girls on Kiki because it's a whole movement.
What the fuck are you? What?
I'm telling y'all, like the whole JT from City Girls.
Shout out to QC and to the City Girls. they got their opportunity and they came up. Shout out to all of the people. I'm not hating on them at all, but
you about to hate.
I'm not hating at all. I'm saying you saying that Classic is putting the City Girls on the album. Like,
to a certain crowd of people listening to Drake, that's like Drake doing something with how he did the Yes Indeed with Lil Baby, right? To a certain crowd of people, Drake grabbing up young, hot Atlanta, young city girls is like a classic. It's a moment, not a classic.
He's not the first. Hove did Stars Born with J. Cole. Like, at one point, Drake was that guy when Wayne was doing it. You know what I'm saying? Like, at one point, Jazz put a young Jay-Z on. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how rap goes. You know what I'm saying? Like that, like big.
And to your point, you kicked off by saying, Drake gives you moments, but you're saying that he doesn't have a classic. I like the mixtape. That's my first.
Who got a classic coming out?
He did 25 songs. How many more?
I think he got a classic coming.
His mixtape.
Are you saying that Drake has a classic coming?
I think he has a classic. The classic album we're waiting for. I think it's coming.
It's been 10 fucking years. And by the way, every time a Drake album comes out, I come back like. By the way, it's not like I don't like Scorpion. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying, if you telling me songs that like while I'm listening to them make me go gotta hear this guy list, it's like 4 or 5 songs. The rest of them are cool. And by the way, what was the one More Life that came out after Views, right?
Yeah, that was a playlist, by the way.
A playlist, whatever. like that has some joints on it. Like,
not an album.
Mine's is the mixtape.
So Far Gone is a brilliant piece of work.
I love that. That's my classic. I
told Drake's dad was right there. I told him when I heard So Far Gone, I knew that we were dealing with a different type of artist that we'd never dealt with before.
That's my classic right there. When I was listening to that, I was like, yo, who the hell is this? That, then Views, then More Life.
And we're talking about top rap verses of all time. Drake's verse on the Aston Martin music remix is one of my top 5 rap verses in history. And I listened to that and I'm like, yo, there's something. The dude, when he's really talking about what's going on, even I'm not talking about what's going on in the world because this nigga's from Canada. But like when I'm talking about when he's really tapping into what's going on with him and not just swagging his way through a record.
I mean, that's why I loved Emotionless.
Like I fuck with him heavy, and it's almost like, God damn, it's a frustration. That's like,
I think your frustration is he's so dope that you just want that one stamp. Yeah, look at that. Yeah. And I think that for him, that's type of the success. This is the funny thing about success. Success comes in waves, right? And when it hits and it hits hard, you're playing on a completely different level. You know what I mean? Right. So how you go about making your albums or go about your artistry is completely different because you have so many different factors that go into every move you make. You're not just making an album, like Reasonable Doubt was when Jay was hungry. You know what I mean? Like Jay was, Life After Death was when Big was hungry. You know what I'm saying? Illmatic was when Nas was hungry. And then you get all this success. I don't know if Nas would make a Illmatic today. You know what I'm saying? It's just different. I don't know if Jay would make a Reasonable Doubt today.
But Jay did make an album that was very, very, very true to his current state of mind. It's very hard to do as a rapper.
True.
It's very hard to make something classic and timeless and sort of that resonates when you've already accomplished everything. I get it.
Yeah.
I get
That's
it.
what I'm, Big up to Pusha T, man. And, he rocked that diss track. That was dope. And Pusha T's a dope rapper.
By the way, big up to Nipsey and big up to J-Rock.
J-Rock's album was dope.
Let me tell you
Nipsey's album was dope, too.
There was an argument going on about them, too.
Let me tell you something about Top Dog.
Say that again?
There was an argument with, they were saying that Pusha T's album is, Album of the Year credential.
It is.
But if you put it against all the other albums that dropped this summer, those albums are not as hot, but they're bigger artists, I guess, or more like.
Pusha definitely got a
Pusha's album's good.
Yeah,
Pusha's album's good.
It's short.
Beyonce,
it's short, but it's definitely got a. I want to say something right now because I fuck with J-Rock's album really, really hard. I want to talk to one of my friends right now, Top Dog. I don't know if you listen to the podcast. You might not listen to it, but me and Top talk from time to time. It's a dope dude, real gentleman, a titan. In this hip hop thing.
Oh, he killing the game.
Give me one of your artists for the podcast. You got all of these, man. I'm like, first of all, Top Ben told me that he was gonna give me my TDE gear to rock. I'm starting to wonder if Top really fucks with me, bro. Like I now have no TDE gear. I've been told people I was gonna have it. They're like, you ain't got no fucking.
Does he have a Van Pill shirt?
No, they are.
All right, well, get him a shirt, and then.
But I would love to talk to J Rock, because J Rock once again had his moment, and he came with it, man.
Listen, that J Rock album's dope.
Yeah,
and definitely I like that Nipsey album too.
Nipsey's crazy. Nipsey slapped the shit out there.
Real big.
Like Nipsey slapped the shit out of him.
I heard that through the phone.
God damn, Nip. Like that? Nipsey slapped the shit out of him. Yeah. So they've rescued the boys in the cave yet?
I think 8 of them have been rescued as of right now. Yeah. Man.
So eight of them, and there are 10 in there?
Yeah, the refill. There's 12 total people. They need to refill the oxygen tanks and come back up and make sure that there was enough to get back.
Now, this is the type of thing I'm talking about. And the reason why I'm talking about this is because this is the type of thing that we can all get behind, that unites us. I remember in the 80s, there was a little girl that fell down a well. Mm-hmm. Everybody, you remember this? Remember the little girl that fell down the well? She was in a Michael Jackson video. They when they got her out of the well, she was in the well for some time. Everybody in the world was super happy that she was rescued from the well, except for one person, my dad. For some reason, my dad got it in his mind that because she fell down the well, that I was somehow going to fall down the well. So he brought me into a room and he said, listen, nigga, if I ever catch you playing around any motherfucking wells, I'm going to come in here, I'm going to beat your motherfucking ass. And I was thinking to myself, how did you take this moment in human history?
Right.
It's like a beautiful moment in human history, and turn this into another way to threaten to whoop my ass. But my father was so afraid that I was going to, first of all, ain't no wells in Louisiana like that. Mm-hmm. My father was so afraid that I was going to find a well and then fall into the fucking well that he had to threaten me. That's how scared he was watching that little girl. And I think those moments of humanity can unite us. You know, it's a very tragic thing that happened. And I pray to God that, you know, all of these young these young soccer players are brought out of there. But we have to remember, and that's why we talked about the thing earlier with the MAGA hat, is we don't want to be in discourse and in gridlock and in traction with one another. We want to be able to root for one another.
Absolutely.
And it just feels so good looking at a story and hoping the best for someone. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Hoping the best for someone. Because with so many things, you know, we get inundated with videos of horrible things happening to people that look like us, with horrible things happening to people that don't look like us, and the immediate response to those things are such negative emotions and such feelings of the loss of control and such rage. It's just dope. Now, this doesn't mean that you hope an accident befalls someone, but it's dope to look at somebody and hope, man, I hope that this works. To pray for the betterment of someone. Not to pray that somebody wakes up out of their funk, but to pray that something goes right, to pray that something happens. And I feel like it. I said we were going to do the Positive Thursdays thing. I haven't been able to do it because it just seems there's so much to fight. You know what I mean? It seems there's so much to fight.
No, I'm with you though. I pray for those kids. That's heavy. That's heavy. How many days were they down there with like 14? 2 weeks. Could you imagine 2 weeks no food?
Are the ones that have been brought out, are they doing okay, or?
I know some of them were sent to the hospital right immediately, and they let the weaker ones out first, right? Yeah. And I think Elon Musk sends some people out there too to do.
If they're healthy enough for it, they're going to send them to the World Cup final.
Wow.
I think it's pretty awesome.
Wow.
That would be dope. So, bro, you know, we've covered a lot of ground today. I think that I successfully hated on LeBron and Drake.
I mean, what was in that Anguilla food?
Damn,
they just
I'm
got
not
you.
hating on these guys.
What was in that oxtail?
I
love these guys,
but he's
man.
very talented. But that's how the Drake hate club, like the members, that's how they always start.
Drake.
That's the
Drake haters.
Ain't no Drake hate.
You're a Drake.
I love Drake. I'm
You're
actually a
Drake
huge Drake fan.
Hater.
I'm a huge Drake fan. I just like to
bring his daddy on your show, then hate
his dad
on his son.
The one thing I'm fucking pissed off at Pusha about, don't you ever besmirch the man known as Dennis Graham. You don't talk no shit about Dennis Graham.
Or his suits.
Dennis Graham, his suits are fantastic. You know why? You know how I know Drake got a classic in him? because his daddy is a fucking classic. All right, look, we out of here. Damien is going to be on the podcast a lot more, guys.
Listen, man, we are bonding, brother. We are bonding.
We building over here, man.
You know?
We building. And, you know, I do want to say that while I don't apologize for the tweet at all, not even a little bit, I do hope and wish that in the future I can be better and that we all can be better. And I don't want to let my angst and my anger make me into a worse person. But I will say this. I'm sick of playing nice with these motherfuckers, man. I'm not playing nice with these motherfuckers anymore, man. So if you don't respect me, probably not gonna respect you, and I'm probably not gonna give a fuck if you get disrespected. Peace.
Love is love. 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 Love is love.